So I want to talk about how gender diversity improves your games, how it improves your storytelling, and why it's important. Now, I've been getting a lot of pushback in the YubTubs about people saying that all you're doing is fitting a quota, all you're doing is putting poorly written NPCs in. So that's the first point that I'm going to cover. These are actual comments that I've been left. If you feel that changing the gender of a character is equating to a poorly written NPC, or you're just matching a quota to just throw people in there to be different genders so you meet your percentages and you're not fleshing them out, that is an issue of you as a GM. When you create NPCs, you should tie them into the backstories of people, tie them into the main story, tie them into the setting, anything like that. Give them a personality, give them a few fun facts. Have your players help you create that NPC to take a little bit of weight off those shoulders. But if you feel that changing the gender of an NPC is just making them poorly written or making it just feel like you're meeting a quota, you're not getting the point of the whole thing. The point isn't to meet a quota, the point is to have representation. This is point 2, when you have representation in your games, you are normalizing the different genders that people are going to be encountering. Now, is this a fix for people actually going and educating themselves and learning about the different genders? No, absolutely not. Is this a light education that might help a bit? Sure, and we should do every little bit we can to help each other out, because that's how we move forward. It's not just big actions, it's a lot of little ones. So when you have a lot of women in positions of authority in your campaign, or there are many different places in your campaign, or you have transgendered characters, non-binary, you have gender fluid, that kind of stuff, and these are just people in your world, and your players are constantly encountering them, and it's not a big deal. They're just people, and life is moving on. When they encounter them in real life, you're normalizing this, so it's not going to be this weird shock to them. There's a lot of people who are playing campaigns where it's mostly just male characters. The female ones either blend into the background or are non-existent. So when they encounter the different genders in different positions of authority, or even just meeting them outside, suddenly it's strange to them, and then they don't know how to react. So if you can help doing just a little action of helping normalize that, that's actually a big deal, and it helps us push back against what we see with a lot of like this, gender violence, the discrimination, all this stuff. Normalize different genders in reality, in our storytelling. We're still having problems with movies, stories, all that kind of stuff. It is going forward, it's getting better, but still everyone needs to do their part. I can always do better myself. Other people, we can always push forward. The third one, and this is an actual post I got, is someone said 99% of my NPCs are just forgettable. My players are never going to remember them, so what is the point in giving them any different genders? It just feels like I'm just trying to appease or something. If your NPCs are that forgettable, that is an issue as a GM. You need to create a diverse amount of people that people are running into. When the human brain is encountering something that is the same all the time, it stops trying to differentiate and starts categorizing. It starts just putting them all in a lump sum. So if everybody's a guy in your campaign and everybody's running into them, a lot of them are humans and stuff like that, your players just start lump summing them in their head, and yes, that is what makes characters forgettable. Also, give them personality, give them lore, give them, a lot of pizzazz, and that will have your characters be more memorable. But just know that when you have this diversity in your games, people notice, and when you don't, they also notice. I have been in campaigns where my spouse has called out that every character is just a guy. I've spoken to many different people in the TTRPG community that have faced these issues. I've seen so many horror stories on Reddit. I have seen many different non-male creators talk about the dangers and issues that they face where all this is bubbling up because people get upset when all the characters aren't just male. Take the time, do the research, understand that gender diversity in your games makes your story richer. You're doing your little bit of a part to help normalize things and bring things back to a better place, as well as you can have your players remember the characters a little bit easier, and the players at your table be a little bit happier seeing more representation. I do hope this helps. This went a little bit longer than I expected. I hope it wasn't too combative or anything like that. But until next time, bye now.